And for me, it was all about mindset. And it was also about habit. And one of the things, I brought a little brain along today because I've got a master's in neuroscience. And when we're born with this thing called a brain, but we're not actually taught how to use it. And today I want to show you something that hopefully will make a big difference. When you actually look at the inside of the brain and how it works, the front part of the brain is called the prefrontal cortex. And when you're in the driver's seat of your life, making conscious decisions about how you want to lead your life, you're using this part of the brain. When you're setting goals and making long-term plans, you're using this front part of the brain. It's called the executive brain for a reason. Just like a leader, you're the executive, you're at the front and you're leading your life. But in order to use that, you have to face forward and you have to focus on what you want. Yeah? Because when you focus on what you want, you're always focusing forward towards it. However, what we're up against is the middle part of the brain, which is actually our limbic system, the emotional brain. And all of our sensory information comes through that part of the brain. This is also where all our habits are wired into. This is why it's very difficult to break a habit when you're trying to change, because this emotional part of the brain is so deeply wired in, and it becomes automatic and it becomes unconscious, right? So when you're wanting to change a habit, the most important thing to do is to focus forward on what you want, because otherwise it goes like this. I don't want to eat that block of chocolate, right? Notice I'm focusing on what I don't want. When I focus on what I don't want, I'm actually looking like that. But when I focus on what I do want, I'm focusing forward on where I want to go, right? So I don't want to eat that. 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 So while I'm focusing on what I don't want, what am I not focusing on? Right? What I do want. And your brain can't do both. And while you focus on what you don't want, you actually hardwire it even more. And the craving for it becomes even stronger because you're focused on it, right? So the last thing that you want to do when you're trying to change a habit is focus on what you want to stop. What you want to do is start focusing on what you want to start and keep your focus here. And every time you get it right, you give yourself a big high five. There's 3 things you need when you're changing a habit. The first thing is focus and attention on what you want, not what you want to stop, right? The second thing is repetition. Repeat, 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 repeat. And the third thing is positive reinforcement and acknowledgement. So every time you do it and you get it right, it's like, yay, go me. Or, oh, I had chocolate today, but instead of eating the whole block, I only had a line. Yay, go me. You know, any progress is still progress. And that's what keeps your mindset open and flexible and in the growth space. Now, the growth mindset operates here because here, when you're focusing on what you want, you need to be adaptive. You can be creative, you can be innovative, but all of that's only possible when this front part of the brain is switched on. If you're operating from threat and focusing on what you don't want, you are likely going to only operate in fixed mindset, which is just repeat, repeat, repeat what I know. Repeat, repeat, repeat what's comfortable, what's familiar, the path of least resistance, but it may not actually be what I want. So mindset plays a critical role in terms of motivation, but also in terms of belief. So the thing you need to uncover is what is the internal narrative that you're telling yourself about the thing you're trying to change. So if the thing you're trying to change is about weight and diet, if you're actually saying to yourself, yeah, I'll give this a go, but it probably won't work. Well, guess what? It won't work because there's something there in your narrative called priming. You know, so when the doctor said to me, you have 6 months to live, if I had believed that, all of my unconscious mechanisms would have gone into that thought and probably would have manifested to the day, right? And this, you're probably familiar about that with people that you know when they're given a diagnosis, that it's almost like, oh my God, they got that right. Well, actually, it's called priming. And we are all doing it every day at a very subtle level. When you wake up in the morning, are you saying to yourself, hey, I'm going to have a great day today. And then your brain starts looking for evidence to support that. Or are you waking up going, oh, here we go again? Well, guess what? There you go again, right? Your brain is tuning into what you're saying to yourself inside, that internal narrative. So when we talk about mindset, the more conscious you are about creating the mindset you want, the more likely you are to succeed. Otherwise, you're just following a pattern and a program that's been there forever, and you're never going to change.